And that is that think about what we're excited about. We're excited about the fact that it's a drink. We're excited about the taste. You know what I mean? But that's not the real value of superfood of Juice Plus to people. The value is what it's always been. And when it comes to a good tasting drink, the consumer can find a better tasting drink and they probably already have drinks they like. Why would they order another drink in the mail? There's no reason to order a drink unless it's going to do something amazing for them. So, with that, and even the fact that it's a drink versus capsules, that still isn't even a part of the sales process. It never has been. We never worried about, oh, hey, I have a capsule for you today. We never said that. We have Juice Plus for them today. So we need to talk about how we share superfood powders. I mean, even with that in mind, just remember it's the same thing it's always been. We want to lead with like real life struggles, not taste. Instead of saying it tastes great, say, ever feel like it's impossible to eat enough fruits and veggies every day? Or are you really busy and you need some plant powdered nutrition? That, I mean, stuff like that. So I don't know, any discussion around that, guys?
I'm just leaving way for Nalani. I think she's coming. Here she is.
I think that this is really important for us. I was at an event and we had samples, and it was a sideline buddy from another team actually. And the first thing is, taste it, taste it. And actually, she had put too much water in it. So it was like, oh, okay. But the whole point though was exactly what Doug is saying. The point was, what is the value of it? And that made me think, should I ever do this again? Or when I do any kind of presentation, it'll always be a conversation before you taste it. Ask a question, that will bring in the value of fruits and vegetables. So if we ask the question, um, and it doesn't matter what the question is, it could, how many fruits and vegetables do you eat today, or anything that would have that conversation, and then bring in the fact that, well, this is another way of getting in those fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, so that's like I said, the point number one is leading with real life struggles, like finding out the pain. I'm going to use maybe some sales talk today, but it,
Mm,
it works, right? So the pain point, what is the struggle? What problem are we solving for somebody with Juice Plus or with superfood powders? And
right.
the struggle is Nalani asks a question that's going to expose a problem probably, and that is they're not getting enough fruits and vegetables. I mean, nobody passes that test. That's why it's such a great question.
Mhm,
Even Mitra Ray in her life, probably doesn't eat enough fruits and vegetables, so she needs Juice Plus too.
mhm.
So other struggles are, that it's hard to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, but like other versions of that might be like you're busy, life is hectic, I don't have time to prep meals, so I end up trying to find something healthy, so I stop at, I don't know, Chipotle and get a salad or something, right? What about if it comes up that their immune system is weak, they get sick a lot, maybe they have skin problems or gut problems or whatever, you know what I mean? So anytime we're tapping into those common frustrations like convenience, energy, nutrition, so we're not selling a product, we're providing solutions. That's one of the keys.
Yeah, I think it's been an easy transition to with superfood powders with customers. They
Right.
already know the value of Juice Plus. So we can't forget that we have to share the value of Juice Plus with the superfood powder people. What I think is cool about the superfood powders is that you can go out and do taste tests and things like that and have that conversation. It might open some more doors and that was the same with the gummies, that there is a taste to it. If they don't like to taste anything, the capsules might be the solution, right? But yeah, or it's also something where we should be going back to our old customers, say, hey, what happened with you taking Juice Plus? Wondering if you had capsule fatigue, because now they have a simple solution for that. Or even partners of the past that may have gone away, same conversation. Just say, I think the superfood powders is our impetus to call people, and I think the thing is we need to just start getting on the phone more and more. But yeah, I like that, starting with the problem. The problem always is that the government recommendation in the United States is 9 to 13 for adults servings every day. Preferably would be vine ripened and raw, right? And Juice Plus even provides the leaves, the seeds, and the peels when it's healthier, and the research that it actually does work. So, I mean, it's all a conversation. You don't want to verbally vomit on people, but have that back and forth conversation. Right now, what my strategy is to get out and talk to people at vendor booths, because you could just en masse talk to more people, and it's kind of like, are you interested? Are you interested? Going down the line, and the table might pre-qualify them in itself by having a table at different gyms, things like that. But let's hear from Jamal. How has he been? He came in like a storm. And tell us a little bit about your background, Jamal, and how you've been selling the superfood powders and also Juice Plus. I think you've been getting people on the trio, on the
Yeah,
quad, and you're really excited. So we always love to hear from excited team members who are adding orders, and that just helps us all to sustain our excitement.
yeah. I want to first give thanks to Dr. Nalani because she embedded into me confidence when I don't know, I was just kind of like tippy-toeing, fussing around, and she's like, I think you could be really good at this. And then that honestly, that sparked my like, okay, I can do this. And then I honestly, I've taken the mindset approach of like everything's already in the now and everything's abundant right now. So when I'm speaking to people, I'm not speaking to people from lack or, oh my gosh, you need to get this because I need to fill a bill. It's more like this is that my bills are already paid. I'm already in gratitude in the now, and I'm grateful that you're already taking this. You may not even be taking it in this now moment, but in a future now moment, you're probably going to be taking it.
Hmm.
So I've been leading with that type of like energy and mindset when it comes to selling Juice Plus. And then depending on the person, I just like read where they're at as an individual. And then I'm picking up on like essentially like the pain points. So for example, if it's an athlete, I'm like, look, this is good for oxidative stress because it's going to help you perform better. Because if you're more available, the more you're available, the more you're going to get seen. The more you get seen, the more you get paid. There's the kid that I'm training at Texas Tech because I do train kids at basketball as well. His one of his teammates to play college basketball got paid $4 million this year. That's what they just gave him. The other one's getting paid 2 million, right? So it's like they can afford these products, and then it's gonna help them be even more available because they're definitely not getting it. I was speaking with the nutritionist there. They give them like the Welch's fruit. They give them like all types of garbage, and it's just like this is even more evident why this is good for them. So it's like different people I pick to different points on what they need, but with the mindset of like I'm already abundance in the now. I'm already in the now abundant. So that's kind of like how I lead with my like mindset and my kind of conversation with everyone.
So what are you saying to an athlete? Tell us from your coach's perspective. I know what you
Yeah.
just said, that
Yeah.
if they're undergoing a lot of oxidative stress, maybe they're missing practices or not able to perform at their highest peak, maybe.
Yes. Yes.
So if you were talking to, say, this person that we know locally who is a baseball player and puts in like 30,000 steps a day and is
Wow.
working out, trying to keep up with when he might be called by the
Yep.
major leagues, what
Yep.
would you say to him about his nutrition and how Juice Plus could help, or Superfood Powder?
Okay, that's a great question. So with someone like that that's putting in a lot of work, I'm gonna be like, the first thing I'm gonna actually what sometimes I do is like, so what's your diet like right now? Like what are you consuming on a day-to-day basis? How much do you eat? Are you intermittent fasting? Do you eat one big meal a day? Do you eat two meals a day? And then I go like, and then I'm like, how much fruits and veggies are you getting in your diet? And then I get that answer. And then I'm like, well, and then I'll draw on my personal experience. I'm like, okay, well, I'm an athlete too. I played basketball vegan, but not only that, I'm vegan now or plant-based now. And that's all I eat is fruits and veggies, and I don't even get enough. And even if I do, it's missing the gaps of what it should be. And then I kind of go down like a little bit of a rant on, not a long one, but like a short one on like how like it's missing nutrients, all of our food, and that this supplement will take you to a higher level because it's going to hit your cells at a cellular level. And then if you're getting fed at a cellular level, that's going to actually help you be mentally sharp, be focused, be more positive, have the energy to sustain you so that when you do come to be, when you do get your call, you're already going to be ready because you're in that now moment. I speak a lot about the now with the players, especially athletes, because they know like intuitively that when they're playing basketball and they're in their zone or flow state or whatever you want to call it, it's just that they're fully in the now. They're not thinking about yesterday. They're not worried about their girlfriend after the game, wanting to go to McDonald's or whatever. They're just in the moment. So I speak to them from that lens of like, you're in the now, but listen, if you're creating in your now moment that you're going to be playing baseball, make sure that you're doing this stuff in the now moment that's going to prepare you for that now moment of performing in front of the world. I don't know if that helped or.
Yeah, I have a little commentary on that. So that's cool. So and sometimes we get coaching in Juice Plus, and we gotta still use our brains. Even when a mentor teaches you, you have to filter it because sometimes, especially sometimes, when somebody's been doing this a long time, or maybe they know a lot, they they might assume some knowledge, and then
Mhm.
sometimes people don't fully understand the coaching. So with that said, sometimes you might hear us say, like Sharon just said earlier, well, I don't want to verbally vomit on them. And what Jamal was explaining, um he's talking a lot in that interaction, but it's because he's already talking to somebody who is, I guess, what they would call a qualified lead in the sales world. They
Mhm.
are already interested in that product, and he already has like respect because he's in a coaching position. You know what I mean? So therefore, he is assuming the role of the teacher. You know what I mean? He's teaching the person, but also explaining to them the benefits of the product. So I think that's important to know because if Jamal were to meet somebody just randomly and it was like a soccer mom or something, right? He probably would approach it a lot differently. Now,
100%. Yeah, yeah. I won't vomit on them. I'll keep it real simple to the point. And then when it comes to like moms and families and parents, I'm like, this is the best company. My wife takes the product and my daughter's
right,
4 now, and she gets it free till she's 25. What Whole
exactly.
Foods company are you going to? I mean, what product on the Whole Food shelves are you going to that takes care of families? I just like really hit him in the soft spot of like family.
Yeah,
That's my target approach with it.
yeah. Go ahead, Sharon.
No, I just really, I think that that's really good and that you coach people and that they're listening. And I'm sure you come from a stance of this is what I recommend,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, and what I also wanted to mention, I was saying that it's funny that we came on here. I'm now using the Perform Shake, which if anybody has listened to me since this was introduced, I really didn't like the Perform Shake, but I do like the taste of Superfood Powders with the Perform, and I know the Perform Shake is good for me. It's just I was trying to add it to coffee. I couldn't imagine how else I was gonna get it in my diet. I have the chocolate shake in the morning, but around this time I start drinking something like this, and Dr. Shakira, recommended I start having aloe vera. So how in the world would I do that? I added in here. So this is something that you can add the superfood powder, the Perform,
Mhm.
water, aloe vera, and frozen fruit. So I think, just trying to get as much nutrients, as many nutrients in your body as possible as we get older and have optimal health. For me, that's very important. And of course, taste comes into play,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So I love the superfood powders for that. And so you were saying that you're able to recommend the superfood powders, and you're opening your capsules though for now.
Yeah, for myself. Yeah.
So what are you saying to the moms or everybody else in your life, besides the athletes? I think you kind of mentioned that you are getting some of those people on Juice Plus.
Yeah. So, I honestly just I asked them a bunch of questions because with athletes it's different. I'm like, you want to be great? Just listen to what I'm saying. No, I'm joking. But like,
Okay, no, you can, you can.
yeah, but like with like moms and things like that, or just non-athletes, I asked them a bunch of questions and leading them into like their own answer of what they need to do for health. Like I just asked them questions like, so how's everything been going? How's your sleep? Like how are you living? How like first I do what Dr. Lani taught me, which is just like a regular checkup. And then I'm trying to bring as many people to the Zoom calls that she has so that they can listen and that they can that's really what it is. I'm not selling them like I don't get to sell them I don't sell them on the first call that I have with them. It's more like, listen, you need to come check this out. Come listen to this doctor. Boom.
Mm,
And then they come listen, you know?
Okay, that is perfect.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that is something
That's actually like I
okay.
started thinking about like, oh, what do I say? I don't reinvent the wheel. I just say you gotta come listen to this doctor. It's amazing. And then I tell a bit of her story, and then I tell the story. So 5 years ago, I was taking the product myself. I was trying to sell it, but I had no confidence. I was so in fear of everything. And then my one friend, he was struggling to have a kid, right? Because the sperm was just not as good. So I made him like clean up his diet. I made him take Juice Plus. I called it like my little elixir. I put Juice plus extra spirulina, beet crystals, and sea moss. I put it into like a 8-ounce cup, and I made him drink that for 2 months, and then he had a kid. He was one of the first people that bought when I started selling. He's like, yeah, bro, get it for me. So he got the one for his daughter as well, and then he's getting one for his wife next month, or maybe at the end of this month. And so it's like I kind of lean on stories like that for results from it. And but then I bring them to like Dr. Nalani's Zoom. So
Well, and that is what's important is that they have some kind of education because you could quote sell people on Juice Plus and they might get it for 1 4-month supply. But the beauty of Juice Plus is people believing it because they have that education and knowledge. And it's not like some false belief. It's because they've learned so much and they really recognize I'm not getting enough fruits and vegetables, and this is a really good product and all that. So it takes some education to get to that point. So I'm really happy to hear that you're not just quote selling them and they're getting it right away, but they're also plugging into the education, which brings them from point A to B to C to D, because people don't always understand that they're missing nutrition and that they're supposed to have this much, and why at the cellular level with oxidative stress, DNA strand breakage, immune system, inflammation, all those things that are really happening in our body without us knowing it, that's a reason, to have Juice Plus. So Dr. Nalani, go ahead and comment on all that and tell us about your weekly One Simple Change events.
Oh, okay. Um, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we have events every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Monday and Friday, it's income with impact. And it's becoming more join the club. Hashtag the best health club ever. And so on Wednesday, so we tell them, we briefly talk about Juice Plus. We don't go too much into it. A few of the slides just to, warm them up, and then tell them come back on Wednesday and you'll know more detail about the products. And then on Wednesday, we tell them come back on Monday and you'll learn about the company behind the product and how amazing it is and why it is that we're sharing it with so many people. And it's amazing that I feel more passionate about it now than ever before.
Hmm.
And I tell people I don't know why I'm getting teary. That's crazy. It's just that wow. I
Well,
can't
this
believe.
is a once in a lifetime. I'll just say that because I've never seen this happen to Dr. Nalani.
Well, I've been doing, and I tell them, listen, it's been 17 and a half years. It'll be 18 years in June, and I'm still excited about it. Why is that? It's not, and sometimes, when I'm talking to team members, and I know this is a little bit off the subject, it just came into my head. When I'm talking to team members and I mention Wendy Campbell, and it's kind of the same thing. I say, she's a millionaire. It's not about the money. Why is she doing this? She's passionate about it. It makes a difference in people's lives, and that's why we do it. And I make sure that they know that that is why we're doing it. We're doing it, yeah, it's a business. And when we go on for Monday and Friday, we really focus in on the fact that it's a business and why we're doing it. And we have a team song, which is Fantasy by Earth, Wind and Fire. And we play that before and after the meeting. And people hang around until the whole song is over.
I love it.
Right. And by the way, Doug is going to be our guest speaker. We don't know when. I don't know if it's going to be
I
Friday.
think we said Friday.
Friday. Right. Okay. Yay.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
Awesome. Does anybody else have anything to share or ask about sharing the superfood? Or I mean, and if you came on or if you just tuned in, we're talking about sharing superfood powder and how we got to remember it's just Juice Plus. And so many people are just focusing on how great it tastes and how fun it is to shake a bottle. But that's not really going to matter to a prospect. They don't know that. Why wouldn't it taste great? And if we're going to sell something that tastes great, then I mean, it's not like it's the greatest tasting thing. I mean, there's things that taste better. So if I was the consumer, I would just buy the thing that tastes better if my pain point is I want something that tastes great. You know what I mean? So we have to share, and I have a little list, and then you guys can comment afterward. The list that I have is one, we start with the problem, like Jamal was talking about, like figuring out like what's going on with the person to find like their pain point. So we start with the problem, we ask questions to determine that. Number two, we share the solution. We do have a solution. Okay, if you just talk to people, you will find a problem, and I guarantee you can help them with that problem. And then what do we talk about? We mentioned the benefits, okay? So we don't lead with the taste, and we don't lead with the powder. We lead with Juice Plus. We lead with the fact that it supports immune health, skin, gut, energy, brain, and more. We can highlight the convenience, but the convenience is really, how do you want it? We have it three ways. We have capsules, we have chewables, gummies, and we have the powders, so they can get it any way they want. Then you can tell a story, you know, about what it's done for you. And then if you want to talk about the price, some people are afraid to talk about the price. Well, it's less than $3 a day. If you're somebody who is out and about and not like, I understand, we kind of live way out in the country now, so we don't go to Starbucks as much anymore, right, Sharon? But when we were like, yeah, you do a little bit more. But and most people are out and about, they're finding all these little convenience things. That's the way society is now, whether it's Starbucks or Dunkin'. I mean, those are all coffee, but there's other things out there too. There's even smoothies, places like Jamba Juice and whatnot. So $3 a day replaces a snack or a coffee or something they might pick up at the grocery store when they're standing in line. And so it's very doable to get that much value in nutrition. And trust me, if you're talking to people like athletes and stuff, Jamal can definitely confirm the price of Juice Plus is very affordable compared to what people spend on supplements. People that are into supplements, they're spending way over $100 a month. That's just normal for them. Okay, if you ever see people coming out of the GNC, they got a big bag. There's a lot of stuff in the bag usually. And then of course you can mention that it's vegan, gluten-free, no added sugars, and then you can talk about the research. But But generally, that's how we want to share it. We want to share it as Juice Plus, and that's the main point of what we're talking about today. Is we want to share it as Juice Plus, not just as a fruity drink or something. Any comments or questions, or anybody want to add in on that? Go ahead, Jamal.
I have a comment. Yeah. So I think one of the things that was coming up when you were saying all that is like I just thought about, and maybe it might help myself, but everyone else is like not making a big deal about the superfoods in terms of like when you're explain, because like you said at the beginning, you're talking about it's the product, right? And then you're like, look, we have a new convenience way of doing it, so you don't have to take pills, or you can take pills, whatever's comfortable for you.
Right.
But the powder, it does have a flavor, so you're not gonna have to worry about anything. You can put it in water, you can put it in a shake, and then just go from there. I don't know. That just came to my head when you
Yeah.
were
I
speaking.
think
That's
that
it.
we were focusing on the superfoods because of the Strive for Five. You know, we were making a big deal out of it because that's what we want to do. We want to get that $500. Still, there's a way to do it, like Doug has been explaining, that that's going to be more effective. And it's not the biggest deal that it's superfood. I mean, that it's that
Well,
it's
I will.
a
I
drink.
that it's powders. I
Right.
do think it's a big deal, and I have no problem even talking about the capsules as being superfood because
Mhm.
that's a great marketing word nowadays. I mean, I realize that technically it doesn't mean anything specific, really, scientifically, but it's a great marketing word. You know, it's superfood. You know, and you can take that in capsules or gummies or in our superfood powder. You know.
Yeah, also I've been thinking about functional nutrition, and
Mm,
that is a real thing.
is it?
Oh yeah, if you go through to NIH or other pub or whatever, some research studies, they show the difference between and Juice Plus is superfood. It's not just because it's nutrient dense, which is what people mostly think. It's that it is something more, if there's more nutrition added to it that makes it functional, that changes the value. And so, and there is some functional food out there that's really not the best thing.
Mm.
You know, just because they've added vitamins to it, it doesn't really make it as powerful. Nothing's as powerful as Juice Plus, let's face it, you know. Yeah.
Go ahead, Sharon.
Well, I think that concludes our part on superfood
Yeah.
powders, so I'm gonna stop the recording.